Can you imagine what it must take to earn a Michelin star nearly year after year in one of the world's most competitive restaurant scenes? Not only did the restaurant behind me do that, but they also managed to maintain their star during London lockdown and COVID-19. Today in this video, we're going to go behind the scenes and meet the experts and learn how they made this happen. Just before we step inside to hear from the experts behind the scenes, I'd like for you to add some things in the comments. Let us know what your lockdown food experience was. Did you rely on takeaway and delivery, or did you try to become a chef yourself at home?
Terre opened in 1991. I opened the restaurant when I was 26, and I'm here 30 years later. 29 years in Michelin with a star, some of those with 2-star level as well. And I think the overriding reason why we're still here is that we always think of what we do more as a lifestyle than a business. So we often put the shareholders in the second place and the customer in first place. So we're always wanting to do the very best job we can. I think also employing very good people and letting them do their job. So don't micromanage and give people artistic freedom. Creates a situation where your food's always going to be better than anybody else because you're giving them the creativity, you're giving them the freedom to be creative. Well, the lockdown was weird and actually quite wonderful as well. I mean, put the money aside, which was tricky. It was a sort of time I've had with my family that I've never had before. You know, I've been in this business here at this restaurant for 30 years and 6 years previously working with Raymond Blanc. So for 36 years, I've never had that sort of time. And my kids were at a brilliant age at 11 and 13. So we had wonderful time. Just doing family things together every day. Business-wise, there were some key decisions that we made very early. Some people were let go, and there were a lot of contracts that were cancelled, but the marketing and the PR people were kept on all the way through. And we actually stepped up our marketing, which used to be just once a week, but in lockdown we did it twice a week. We were thinking that people would want to see familiar faces coming in on their emails and some nice initiatives. We also created our vegan home delivery in lockdown, and that's a standalone business that is coming back. We're going to relaunch that now in October, and we're going to carry on doing vegan home delivery. We did a lot of little Zoom masterclasses, which were massively well received, and people were very grateful. So we would put out, say, next Wednesday, the first 16 people to reply, we'll have a pasta masterclass with David. And we did that with my daughter helping with the camera, and it was a lot of fun. So we took initiatives and we tried to engage with our customers. And I think we have been massively busy since we came back. And I think a lot of that is to do with our engagement with our database during lockdown.
Like when lockdown happened, it was pretty weird for everyone. So I ended up going home, back in Greece with my family, ended up spend a few days sleeping, and then it was pretty weird because I wanted to wake up and do something, work in the kitchen. So I was sending my mom out to just bring me ingredients. I would just cook at home, post a few videos for home cooks, because everyone was locked at home really. They couldn't go out and eat any food. So everyone was actually forced to be at home cooking. I had enough time to think about future menus, future dishes. Sometimes because the restaurant is so busy and the pace keep going very, very fast, you don't have enough time to sit down on a table with a spreadsheet and say, okay, next year in spring I'll put these 4 dishes, these 5 dishes. Regardless, I've been 10 years working in these restaurants. I know exactly what flavor profile matches which one. So even in theory, the dishes will work out eventually. So I had enough time to plan the menus for 2022, 2023 or whatever, or at least put some ideas down for my future reference.
The business had a very thorough sort of health check during COVID, and we were able to look at every aspect of what we did. And one of the things we did was we reduced the opening hours of the restaurant from 11 shifts to 8 shifts, focusing on what we thought were the busier days. So for instance, now we've dropped Monday completely, and it hasn't affected our business at all. But it has meant that actually now everybody gets Sunday, Monday off. It's a little thing, but just having your confirmed days off, for me, I never had days off before. We were a 6-day-a-week restaurant. I had other businesses. We had a restaurant that was 7 days a week in Marylebone. Coming back out of COVID, I think what I've taken from it is I'm getting myself more personal time. I'm not as busy at the restaurant. The team are picking up more of what I used to do because everybody is in better shape because of the shorter week. And financially, the business is doing well on the shorter week. So I find that my day is a little bit more relaxed. The shorter week works well. We work on a shorter menu. There's been a lot of positives to having the time to think about the business in lockdown and to come back. And also some of the changes that we've made, I had thought about making previously, but you don't get the traction and you don't get the energy behind it and you're always thinking, should I do this? This is a big game changer. But when you have such a massive game changer already as COVID, you then have the traction and the ability to push some new initiatives through. And I think we were able to do that successfully with COVID. Our food suppliers have been something that we've been mindful of over the last few years, especially since 2016 when Brexit was voted for and we knew that we might have issues of supply chain. But I think it goes in hand with our sustainability as well, that we should probably been thinking about why are we using a French lamb when we've got amazing Welsh lamb or Cumbrian lamb here in the UK. So I think from about 2017-18 we did start questioning a lot of the French and foreign suppliers. Obviously you can't get vanilla pods from anywhere else other than, from the Far East, but there are lots of things that you can get sourced here in the UK that we might have been buying from the continent. So we've been very mindful of that. We're really conscious of our carbon footprint, the miles that go into coming to this restaurant for the produce. If we can source it locally, UK, we want it UK if we can get it. Fine dining is alive and strong, healthy. I think people are always going to want to come out and be looked after. And to see food that they can't do at home, to have something that they know takes expertise, time, craft, honing of skills. I think what we will find at the front of house in restaurants is that people are enjoying a more casual and relaxed type of service. And it's something that we've embraced here, especially when we came back from lockdown. We were like this well-oiled football team that had been sitting on a bench for 5 months without a game under our belt. And in the first week, we were all wrecked. Halfway through the first week, one of the waitresses, Emmeline, was complaining about having sore feet. And I said, well, look, everybody wear trainers. If you want to wear trainers, wear trainers. If you want to dress a little bit more informal, dress a little bit more comfortably, fine. So we have one guy who always wants to wear a shirt and tie, and we've got others that don't. And I'm embracing it with my New Balance trainers, and I've lost the shirt and tie look. I'm going open neck all the time now. So I think a more informal style. And the biggest food trend will be the massive expansion of veganism. It's not a trend anymore. I mean, it's a real thing. We can't continue eating the amount of meat that we eat. And I think as the bright young chefs get behind it and start creating really interesting dishes, we're going to find more people coming over. And it doesn't matter if they just come over for one meal and try our vegan tasting menu. As long as they come and they try it. It's one less meal that's an omnivore, carnivore meal. There's one less meal that has the big cow, lamb. Is the fish sustainable or not? Moving towards veganism it is going to happen.